Hey, everybody. Welcome to Tennessee Football Breakdown with Billy Ratliff. I'm Starla, and we're going to talk about this South Carolina game. A win. We get to talk about a win. I mean, I know we've only had one loss, but it still feels like it stings. 41-20 final. Great game. I felt like in lots of different, all aspects of the game. What do you want to talk about first?
It doesn't matter. I start with offense. Offensively, I think we came out and did what I thought we was going to do. We got to continue to run the ball until we get to the point where we are consistent in throwing and passing, and keep the offense honest.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want the defense to get comfortable and just pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. And just like and quarterback said, he said, we got the three-headed monster. Let's utilize it. And I think we did that this past weekend. And this weekend was huge with, the 98 team coming back and seeing
Mm-hmm.
the guys out there playing well. And they did a good job on offense, I think, other than, a few mistakes that they did, they continue to do the same thing we keep talking about. They're they not staying on the field long enough.
Yeah.
I still want them to pick it up, but I'll take it because they did what I thought they was going to do against South Carolina. I knew it. I mean, it could have been worse, but we gave them a lot again.
um, you mentioned the three-headed monster. The running game. We had, I mean, we have three legit running backs. You know who my favorite is, and I love them all, but Dylan Sampson, I love that kid. Um, but we had Jalen Wright went for 123 yards, Jabari 59 and Dylan 49, but Dylan's didn't feel like 49. It just do you feel the same way I do that he just finds the hole, he just finds the end zone, he just makes something happen?
Well, he's good. His vision is really good. And I think with Mays coming back, it kind of slowed it down for them a little bit, and they can see the holes opening up a lot better. Um, those 49 yards he had, I mean, that you're talking about, they were big time yards when we really needed it. I think he had one that was like a 12-yard run, and I'm like, oh, thank you, first down. And it was one of those where he kept the drive alive. Um, gosh, Jalen, I mean, he's gonna be special, man. Gosh, these guys are kind of in a sense remind me of what we had when I was there with, Jamal Lewis, Travis Stevens. We haven't, it's been a while since we had running backs, because to be honest with you, Tennessee used to be, running backs and wide receivers where they go to the NFL and, there's different rosters. We don't see that anymore, but I think it's coming back. It's coming back. And I'm loving it because the kids are doing great. Um, Mays, gosh,
Yeah.
I think that was a huge difference. I mean, the way he was talking at first, I didn't think he was going to play this year. And he did what all athletes does. I mean, he'll do whatever it takes to get out there to help his brothers, and it shows. And he said that the best has yet to come. I think he said he think this offense can be better, and I,
Mm-hmm.
I believe it. I believe it, and he's the missing link. And I truly now think he is the captain of that offense. By seeing the way he was, directing the guys. I can kind of see him kind of like, chewing some of the guys out, tell them that, get this together, let me fix it. And we've been missing that. And, I think that was the missing link. And now I think this off week for offense is going to be huge.
Mm-hmm. It was amazing the way how much smoother everything went. I mean, he was, you know, as soon as the pass or the play was over, he was ready. He was like, he had everybody lined up. It was really, really amazing. And, you know, a lot of people, he got some flack on social media especially when he dressed out. I think the last game and didn't play. But like you said, these guys, they want to be out there, and they're going to be out there as fast as they can be. So everybody just lighten up a little bit.
I'm telling you, I'm one of those guys. I mean, I probably should have retired the cleats a long time ago when I played, but I couldn't leave the guys out like that. It was too much fun I was missing out on. All the hard work you put into it to go out there. I mean, and the coaches, the medical staff did a great job with me by, limiting my snaps in practice or even in the games. They wouldn't let me play that many plays in the game to keep me fresh. And I mean, I remember being paralyzed and I wanted to go back the next week. And this was a scary situation. And of course, I did go back out there, after 2 weeks being off, and had one of the best games of my life. But it's even like my senior when my career was pretty much over. I still wanted to dress out. I
Hmm.
still went out there, and I even had my helmet on. Just say, and the reason I wore my helmet is because I didn't want them to see my tears. I was crying because I couldn't be out there to help the guys. It's tough. It's tough. Like, and Mays, gosh, man, I mean, just his background alone, the family history, I know what it's like.
Hmm.
And him going out there giving his all, I think he's right. I think the best is yet to be seen because and I thought that we would be better. I mean, we are good. I'm not saying that, I still think our record don't show how really good we are. Even though we only lost one game, I still don't think that was the game that I thought we was going to lose. I truly didn't. The game that I truly thought we would lose would be the next game that we're going to play. And now I don't think that's going to be it because I think we already lost the game that I thought that we're going to lose a game that we should win.
Hmm. Um, Speaking of tears and injuries, and I really don't even want to talk about this, but Bru McCoy went down. Just heartbreaking. You knew as soon as it happened, like he's done for the season. Um, we've got lots of guys that can catch the ball,
Yes.
but he does a lot more than that. I was rewatching the game, preparing for this interview, and I know definitely two plays, and I'm sure lots more than that. That I mean, we wouldn't have got the first down, and we wouldn't have got as many yards had it not been for his blocking. Do we have somebody that who's going to fill that void? We have guys that can catch the ball. Who's going to block?
I think that's a position that I don't think we're going to have an issue with it. I think Kevin was the issue, I think. I think now that he's back, it gives them a little bit less tension.
You said Kevin, by the way. That's his
So,
dad.
well, I keep on talking about his dad. I keep saying his dad name because it just when I saw him the other day, and I just think of him every time.
Yeah, yeah.
So I need to keep going. What I always say, the Mays kid,
Yeah.
because I always say the kids, the dad's name instead of the kid's name. Like even with Colorado, instead of saying his son name, I always say Dion. I'm like,
Yeah.
is that his name? But
But
yes,
yeah.
I think all the receivers, every last one of them have to step up. So I'm
Hmm.
not gonna just say one of the guys. I think collectively as a group, all of them need to step up
Hmm.
because there's still even when he was out there still wasn't that true leader at that position. And now don't get me wrong, now he was the guy that blocks. I mean, this wasn't a small kid, man. This is as a receiver, this is a giant like guy, and he did a good job of blocking. And that's one position and one thing that in the past we have been missing. I think the last receiver that I really remember was blocking like that was Jawan.
Oh yeah.
Uh, he was one of those guys that was a rare type of receiver. He was a hard nosed receiver. He was a very vocal receiver, and you don't truly have those anywhere because normally receivers are just they're the flashy guy, they're the pretty boys, they're the ones that just they don't do that type of work. And
Hmm.
I do think that our whole group of receivers going to have to step up and fill that void.
Yeah. Let's talk about Joe's performance. Same numbers that he's had about every game. The only difference, he had the two interceptions, and I think that one was probably just a bad read. One was a little bit underthrown, but he's still 239 yards, 21 for 32. I feel like I say those same numbers every week. He has the same numbers every week.
Yeah,
So,
I think after going back and watch the game, I think the first interception receiver ran the wrong route.
okay.
The second one, yes, that was him. He
Hmm.
made a bad read. Um, he still has some growing to do. He's going to have to, I guess, tone it down a little bit when it comes to the cockiness, because in order for you to be, cocky, you got to back it up.
Hmm.
It's one of those things that, you know, when you have a certain number on your chest, you got to play like that number. And if you're not gonna play, you need to tone it down until you get there.
Hmm.
Um, because I know he has the talent to do it. It's just he's still not letting the game come to him. Um, a lot of people are saying, he's playing kind of iffy where he don't want to get hurt. I don't think that's it. I think it's more mentally for him.
Hmm.
And as with any quarterback, they need to get that rhythm. And when they get that rhythm, it becomes easier. And that goes with the receivers. They're going to have to make those tough catches where, it helps them out, because there's no quarterback that has thrown a perfect game without throwing a lame duck and barely get it or throw it behind them or too far. They're going to
Hmm.
have to help them out. And I think this group going to realize that after losing, we're going to need them.
Yeah.
And third down conversion, I think they did better this week. I think it was like what 7-15 or something like that.
I
It's
think
still
so.
where I want it to be. I still think they can be better, and that's a Joe situation. And the coaches, they got to put them in better situation with the play calling. Um, Penalties. I don't know how many penalties we had. I don't forgot. Was it
Um,
we?
7 for 58.
Okay, not too bad, but the majority of the penalties that we had, it put us in bad situations on offense. Uh,
Hmm.
where it would be 3rd and 20. That's a tough one there. I don't think Coach Hype will try to get 20 yards if we up the way we are. I don't think he really trusts the receivers to get wide open like that. And that's the difference when people think it's the quarterback. I still don't see that separation from the receivers. And that's why I said collectively, someone else is just going to step up. I don't know which one is going to be, but the whole group, they have to step up.
Yeah. um Bringing those last two topics together, during the games, the other admins in the Vol Vault and myself, we have a constant group chat going on, but Sean Sparks mentioned right after the injury, you know Joe struggled, and he was just saying how he's just a real sensitive kid, and he's there, he was not getting a first down here because he went, it affected him.
Yeah.
um, is that normal? Is that normal for a real high low guy? You know what I'm saying? Like high emotion, um, as a leader and your quarterback. Are they usually really emotional guys?
Well, I mean, that's with any quarterback. I mean,
Hmm.
if they have to, it's like I say, it's the rhythm. It's the
Hmm.
rhythm. I mean, the coach has got to help him. If with me, if they're not comfortable with calling, plays that can help us get first downs, and we need to do things on certain down and distance to help him be more comfortable. Instead of throwing that receiver out here in the flats, let's do a quick slant, get him 5-6 yards. You
Hmm.
know, I truly think if we don't change the game plan up for Joe as far as the offense, defense is gonna realize how simple our offense is, because I'm serious. I can tell you every play that they're gonna run before they run it.
Yeah.
There's only two guys on the field I have to look at and I tell them what the play is, which
Yeah.
is sad. I'm like, I just hope no one figure it out.
Let's talk about some of these guys on defense. James Pierce had himself a game.
Yeah,
Joshua Josephs, Kamal Hadden had a big interception. And before you even answer, I want to say one thing. I want to address everybody. If you were at that game Saturday night and you booed that young man when his picture came up at the beginning of the game, raise your hand up in front of your face and slap yourself because
yeah,
you deserve it. That is ridiculous. It should never happen. That kid plays his heart out.
yeah.
Um, I've never played football, obviously, but watching it and hearing different people, criticize players, that seems like the hardest position to play besides quarterback.
Gosh, it is a hard position to play, especially if you don't have those guys up front getting to the quarterback. And
Mm-hmm.
these. I mean, I compare it to running track. It's a marathon. They have to run for days. And they don't come out the game.
Yeah.
These are guys that they have to stay in there and play their best players all the time. And he's done a great job. I mean, other than, the Florida game, a couple of missed tackles. Now, I mean, granted that he is a corner, his job is not to tackle, but still, I would love to see some shoestring tackles or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think he made up for it for the last few weeks. I think he
Yeah.
had. I didn't. I still say that that's still one of our strongest positions we have on this team
Mm-hmm.
is defensive, the DBs. We have been so critical and very down the past few years in that position.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think he stepped up, and especially with the interception and taking it to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. And then James Pierce, with
Uh,
the
and
with that interception didn't happen without his play there. So without him pressuring Spencer
yeah,
Rattler. So
yeah, he did a great job. I think what had 2 sacks.
mm-hmm.
And then the whole team collectively, they was off by 1 sack that I was wanting them to have the 7 just because of his number. That's what
Yeah.
I came with the 7 and the 21 points. They got my 21 points. I said they were going to beat by 21 points.
Yeah.
Uh, Defensively, we did a great job, I think. I still think we're missing that push up the middle. My DTs, defensive tackles, are still struggling. Um, they had some jump on a pile, get the half sack or whatever, but they're still not pushing the middle. The defensive ends are giving defense offensive tackles a heck of a game. They are getting pressure. It's just whenever the defensive tackles are now pushing that middle and the line becomes a arch instead of a straight line getting to the
Mm-hmm.
quarterback, it becomes hard for everybody on the field because now they can run the ball or you can get the quarterback scrambling up the middle and get out the way and it's hard for the defensive ends to keep containment if they run up the middle then out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I still think we need our defensive tackles to step up, and if they don't step up, I don't think we'll be as dominant. I think we can be a whole lot better if we can fix the defensive tackle position on defense. That's where we're losing the battles at. And that's the reason for a lot of the long runs or not being able to get to the guy before he takes off running. Even
Mm-hmm.
the running backs, the defensive tackles, they're missing tackles in the backfield. It should be a tackle for loss. And it hurts on defense when you're not getting that pressure from those guys. And if you know, Starla, I mean, that is the position that is drafted the highest now in the NFL. That is the position that's get paid the most now in the NFL is the defensive tackle position.
Wow. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't used to be that way. I mean, the highest paid position in the NFL on defense used to be the corners.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's the defensive tackles or maybe the defensive end. Um, because if you have a defensive tackle that can get pressure, that is tough on offense because you have to game plan for a defensive tackle. And no one wants to do that. They want to be able to push him, get him out the way, and get up to the second level to the linebacker. You
Mm-hmm.
know, look at what like what this guy's Aaron Donald. Oh gosh, he has changed the game as far as how defensive tackle is played,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we need. We got to get some of our guys to play like the number that's on their chest. I don't want to call people out, but when you have guys that have numbers that are not defensive lineman numbers, you got to play like you have the number on your chest. Like if you like I always use my teammate Lennon Little, for example. You got number one on. You better play like you're somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm talking to you, if you guys watch and hear me, if you got a number that's not defensive line number and you're not playing up to par, you got to step it up, baby.
The kicking game was kind of an issue in the earlier games, but he's doing pretty good. I mean, field goals and punts, I feel like they're doing a lot better. I don't know what his numbers were, but I know he had some good kicks. So, and I'm talking about the punter. I think our field goal guy, Charles Campbell I think he's done good all year, but we had some questions about the punter. So, how do you
Yeah.
feel?
Uh, After hearing why they punt like that, it's just a scheme of how depending on who we're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and truly, everybody that we're going to play this year are going to have somebody back there that can take it to the house at any given time. Speed has changed the way it works, and I think the way to do it is it used to be hang time, get the guys down there. Now it's more of 1, 2, 3, and then kick it away from the guy, or try to kick it to where he can't return it. Um, I don't like it because I would probably figure out a way to try to go block it,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that's coming. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
quite sure they're coaching it and tell them, you got to know when to kick this ball and know how not to get it blocked. Um, our kicking game, I think overall, I think we've gotten better. It just doesn't look pretty. And that's just, gosh, I think that's the part that drives our fans crazy, is
Yeah.
because we don't look good when we're doing a lot of things, but on paper, we're not bad at all.
Yeah.
And statistically, everywhere we're doing pretty good. Offensively, only statistic what I don't like is the third down conversion.
Yeah.
Defense, they're keeping, a lot of guys out the end zone. Um, the guys, they're not giving up a lot of big plays like we used to.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's something that's changed, and I think if we limit the big plays, because we still giving up that one every game. Like, gosh, you got us, and especially when it's a run for a touchdown,
Yeah.
and they make us look so slow.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, somebody can go catch that guy. I'm like, please. I'm like, and I got to stop thinking about what have I done. I'm like, no, that guy's not outrunning me. I'm going to catch him. No, because what I used to try to do, like in that situation, I'm trying to run him down so I can talk bad to my DBs, my LBs, and tell them, hey, y'all better start keeping up with my smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about him. We need to get him before he gets past this line of scrimmage. I think it's all mentally though. It's mentally. I think the guys still not collectively as a team on defense are still not looking at down and distance. As a defensive lineman, I know some of these guys probably don't think about that until it's third down and long or
Mm-hmm.
third down and short. No, the down and distance, you got to think about that too. First and second down. What can happen depend on the distance. I don't think they do that anymore collectively. I think they just think about their job and that's it. Whereas I coach, all 11 of these guys got to know everything, what's going
Mm-hmm.
around, like, the down and distance, what we can have here on this play. Because when I play defensive backs, they tell me when if it's run or pass. And that was a cheat sheet for me because that tells me how I come off the ball. If I'm thinking this run, I got to get down low, get stronger, and take on two guys. Or if it's pass, I got to get up the ball a lot faster. Um, and once again, I say this here: we still haven't found that leader on defense yet. I still see that, some of the guys, even when they get the sacks, I'm still not seeing that where it's my time now. It's me. I got this. I got this. You know, I still see too many. Gosh, I hate saying these words because when I think of accolades, I don't think of individual awards because as defense is still team, still if one of us do the job wrong, all of us do it wrong.
Mhm.
And I'm still seeing some guys that just not doing their jobs, and I'm still gonna blame my defensive tackles. But collectively, I think we've done a good job so far overall. Like I said, I wasn't worried about South Carolina. I wasn't. This was the game that killed them, that knocked them out of the national championship opportunity.
Are
I
you
was
saying this was not our Super Bowl?
no. I was like when I heard that and he said that, I say, guys,
I know.
he really just say that?
Yeah.
Like you are nobody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you came out and you got us at the right time. You got
Mhm.
us at the right time. And it sucks it happened that way, but Super Bowl, come on, man. You're the
Yeah.
I mean, now, I was giving those guys a chance, like, to be competitive that they did. I'll be surprised they make a bowl game now.
Yeah. I was asked, sent a question to ask you from Jimmy Gentry. We're going into a bye week. What do you all, when you played, what did you all do differently? Are you just working on like fundamentals, techniques? Are you preparing for your next opponent the entire time? Are you getting some time off? How do those bye weeks go?
Bye week sucked. Bye week sucked because everything is back to the basics. Everything is straight fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that was broken, it will get fixed. For instance, if we missed a lot of tackles, there are going to be a lot of tackling drills. There are going to be a lot of live situations. There's going to be a lot of run situations. There are going to be a lot of pursuit drills. There are going to be a lot of those things. Um, Injuries, that was something that bye weeks were great, to try to get some of these guys healthy, get some time away from football and heal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just mentally preparing for what we have struggled with. And that's overall as a staff, the coaches too. Um, the players, I mean, I hated bye weeks because it was just so much repetitive of the same thing over and over and over. It's almost like going back to two-a-days where we just returned to camp and we're doing stance and starts or, tackling circuits. The things that, you don't like doing, but we had to do these things because look at the film, guys. This is the reason why we're doing it. Like normally we can be, looking at, South Carolina film and be done with it and move on. Let's go to A&M now. But we have to clean up what we messed up first. And of course now I realize what they did and why they did it, and it worked, but I didn't like bye weeks. I think I mean my bye week when I was in Tennessee was always before the Florida game. I used to hate that. Used to hate it. Like it just threw. I mean, it was more coaching that they got so tight anytime we played them, and in practice it was the same way. They wasn't as loose that they normally are. They was tight. They was like chewing us out for just the basic things. I'm like, Coach, really? It's just, I mean, come on now. You're making it harder on us when it shouldn't be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that the bye week now I think it's better after like 4 or 5 games, yes, but after 2 games, didn't have a bye week, that was tough.
Yeah.
You got 2 weeks to practice for a team. You're like, oh, it's just like the whole summer all over again.
Yeah.
Wait, it's forever. It is, and we're going to feel it too because we don't have a game this weekend. Us as fans are going to be lost. We're going to be lost. Like, and we probably should probably be going and take that vacation in a sense because it's fall break for the kids and all that stuff.
Mhm.
No, we're not.
Um, so what are you expecting from A&M? It's going to be a Checker Neyland game, in case anybody hadn't heard that. So that's always the crowd will definitely be a factor. I know they have a very strong defensive line. They lost their quarterback early, didn't they? But I guess this guy's
Yes.
just as good that came in.
Yeah, I mean, in the SEC, I mean, quarterbacks, they're everywhere now. Like the backups are ready to come in and play. So I'm not going to even worry about that guy because I know he's coming in, he's wanting to win because it's his opportunity to play. A&M going to be a tough game. This was the game that I looked at the schedule before we went into the season, thinking that this is one that we can truly lose, and it can be a close game. But I think the loss to Florida truly, truly woke them up and realized that, guys, this is the SEC time now. Anybody can beat you now. So we got to wake up and play like we're supposed to. Don't give them anything. They're coming to play ball. I mean, you got a couple of kids that are locally that's going to be there, and it's going to be, we're going to need Neyland Stadium to be rocking.
I'm sure they will be for sure. A&M plays Alabama this coming week. So do you think that'll play into any of it? I mean, the emotional toll of playing, Alabama.
Yes, most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I truly think, gosh, and I can't believe I'm going to say this though. I truly think that that game against them is truly going to be like how South Carolina was saying, this is their Super Bowl. I truly think that's how they got to approach that game because I think he lose that game, I think the hot seat is going to be really, really hot for him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because they haven't really got one of those big time victories since the year before last. And last season was supposed to be a whole lot better than what they did last year. Because a lot of people was predicting them to be the team to actually give Alabama a chance to,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to beat them. But when they came out last year like that, oh Lord, we was like, whoa, who is this team?
Yeah.
But I truly think, and I'm going on, I think they're going to win that game.
You think A&M's going to win the game?
Yeah,
Well,
truly do. I truly do. And what makes me think that is because the spread on that game is only 1.5 points, Alabama.
mm-hmm.
And Vegas don't give out easy money. They throw a lot of sucker bets out there, and that right there, 1.5 point, everybody's going to take Alabama. I mean, come on, Alabama can at least win by 3 points, a field goal. That's nothing. And then you see A&M come out there and shock the world. And me, I don't think it's going to be a shock. I truly don't think it'll be a shock. Now, if that was Georgia, yes. Alabama, I still say there's only one team in the SEC that's shown me and on a weekly basis that they are strong on both sides of the ball, and that's Kentucky. And you remember what I told you they was going to do to Florida?
Yeah. So who do you think's going to win that Kentucky Georgia game then next week?
Georgia better come to play.
Yeah. It's at Georgia, right?
Yep, it's they better come playing because if they do what they did against South Carolina, they won't be able to get that back because that defense that Kentucky has, they limit people from scoring, and it's they don't bend that often, and
Mhm.
they're very fundamentally sound this year. I mean, it's a team full of upperclassmen that's doing great, and I told you, anytime you got a group of seniors, juniors that's doing good, it's going to be tough to beat them every time.
How did you have a lot of fun this weekend with all the 98 team?
Oh gosh, I'm still recovering. My body, gosh, I mean, I felt like gosh, I think Saturday I did probably 30 different interviews. I mean,
No,
I was
good.
walking all over the campus. I was here, there. And it's hard for me to say no.
Hmm.
And you got next thing you know, you ask, hey, come to my tailgate. And come to my tailgate. I was like, oh gosh, I got to walk way over there, then walk way over here, like walk way over here. I had a good time. Friday was a nice time. We had Coach Foreman threw a huge event for us. Um, it was a special thing. I mean, we had I'm trying to remember what's the name. It was Riga's, forgot what it's called, Riga's something downtown. But we had a good time. I mean, all the ex guys came in, we got a chance to introduce ourselves again because there's a lot of guys that hadn't seen each other since they left.
Yeah.
Talking about even from the walk-ons all the way up to the starters. I mean, it was a lot of guys there, and it was awesome. And then Saturday, man, when we went through the tunnel to come out at halftime, and I was basically telling everybody, we got to run out there, right? And they looked at each other like, huh? It's like, nah, man, we don't have to run. We don't have to run. It was a special moment, though. Like, I'm glad I got a chance to be part of it. And like I told all the Tennessee people, I said, man, I wish they hurry up and win a championship so we can stop coming. But it
Well,
was it was fun. It was fun. Sun. I think Monday morning when I really felt it. I'm icing down and everything. Like, and we had a good time though.
well, good. My daughter FaceTimed me during halftime. I ended up not going to the game, so she FaceTimed me during halftime, so I got to watch it too. I'm
Uh,
glad they fixed that Wi-Fi in there because that would not have happened
oh,
before this year.
you're right about that. I was like, whoa, my phone is working. And
Yeah.
believe it or not, soon as I start videoing the screen up there, my phone went through battery died.
Oh Lord.
I got like 45 seconds of the halftime event.
Do you have anything to add? I believe that's all I have for you this week.
And I think that's it. I think this was pretty quick, and it was like we said it was going to be last week. They cleaned up third down conversion a
Mhm.
little bit better. They played, better collectively at the offensive line. I just still think, once we get the defensive line step up, I think this team is going to be tough to beat.
They looked a lot better, I thought also. I'm a little worried about about replacing Brew. Nobody else seems to be that worried about it, so I'm gonna go with the
Yeah.
flow.
I'm not worrying about that. I mean, because this here, think about this here. Go look at his stats, and let's say we go take his stats away. How much would that have hurt us right now?
Yeah, yeah.
So now it matters that he's there, but I still think that we could have put anybody in, plugged in, and still did what he did or better because they have a lot of room to grow and a whole lot of room to get better.
Mhm.
So I think his presence with the blocking, yes, we're going to miss that. But I think that these guys know they got to step up, and I don't think we're going to have an issue. I really don't.
Oh, good. Like you said, I think with Coop back, that's
Oh gosh, yes,
that's helped so much. So
huge, huge.
well, for anybody watching this, if you want to go over to Spotify and I finally got everything converted over, go search the Vol Vault, give me a follow. Um, We might have some more things coming up soon. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, go over to YouTube and give me a follow on there. Billy, you have a good week off. I think we have plans next week, so I'll probably catch up with you the week after that.
All right, sounds good. If you need me before then, hey, a phone call away.
All righty. Well, you have a good night.
You do the same, darling. You
All
take
right.
care.
Thank you. Bye bye.